Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm your host D-Day, bringing you some more Oritech Academy. So today's episode, what we're going to get into is the Bedrock Extractor for infinite resources in Oritech. And before we get started, be sure to click the link in the description. It's the first link. That is the link to the entire Oritech playlist. If you click that link, it will add all of the videos in order on the right side of your screen. Super optimized. So we left off the other day with this really big bad boy destroyer block. Maxed, probably not fully maxed, but 6 machine acceptors, full range for the quarry add-on, and speed for days. So we hooked it up to one fuel generator. It is burning the turbo fuel that we found at the bottom of this quarry. It is completely done. Boop. I love that jump. So down here we have these resource nodes. We got gold, we got diamond, we got emerald, we have uranium, which is the one that I'm really excited about, and we have platinum. So these nodes, from what I understand, if we set up a bedrock extractor on top of these nodes, it will mine a 3x3 infinitely. So we need to make this bad boy the bedrock extractor and then figure out which 3x3 we want to set it in order to gather the most resources for us. I'm thinking right here, there's a platinum, emerald, uranium, which is the important one, and a diamond. So the only one we would be missing is gold, I believe. I am still not 100% positive. If we get more than one uranium resource node in our 3x3, will it generate twice as much uranium? That I don't know, because right here we have 2 uranium on top of each other. So originally I was thinking of plopping it down right here. So we get 2 uranium, a diamond, another diamond, so 2 diamond, and a platinum. But F3 and G gives us the chunk border, and it puts us in 2 chunks, which I don't know. I have both of these chunks chunk loaded, but I don't like putting multi-block units in 2 different chunks. I don't know how that will mess up. So over here, I'm thinking this one, uranium, emerald, platinum, and diamond. So we would only be missing out on the gold and maybe possibly gathering twice as much uranium. But this is all in one chunk right here. So this is where I think we're going to put down our bedrock extractor. So what's really cool about this quarry is it mined all the way down to bedrock. It kept going after it was done. So it was wasting fuel. It wasted, I believe, almost an entire portable tank of turbo fuel because I left it on AFK. But what's really awesome about these tanks is I found out if you put them on top of each other, they will drain to the lowest one. All right, so I'm really excited. I want to set this guy up in another chunk. I want him to get going again. So right here by our base, in this area here was, I believe, the very first meteor that we mined out. So I mined all the way down to the bottom and we hit a dungeon, which is pretty funny. Then I kept mining down to the bottom and we have more turbo fuel. So I've mined this area out. We need to put down another pump to pump out all of the turbo fuel. And down here, as you can see, we have more of the uranium, platinum, diamond, emerald, and gold nodes. So I'm thinking that this one might also be, if we can find more nodes to work with, maybe we have a node here that has all of what we need. All right, so same level as the turbo fuel, we got the pump. We got our biogenerator. We'll put this one on right here. Click, click, and fuel. There we go. Should start pumping now. And now let's do a pretty big line. Like, we don't need to be stingy with this. We can always mine it up later, right? All right, and extract. Oh. And now we just need to put our tanks on top. All right. 1, 2, 3. All right, it's filling up with turbo fuel. This is pretty cool. I like this. We'll dump out all of the turbo fuel that is in our way and see if this chunk is a better one, because F3 and G, I believe it shows everything is in this one chunk. Well, except for that emerald there. All right, so let's willy-nilly. We're inside this chunk here. Let's go ahead and load this just for pumping out the turbo fuel for right now. And let's head home and work on our Bedrock Extractor. Home teleport. All right, Bedrock Extractor requires a Heisenberg compensator. So last episode we worked with the Atomic Forge, so I can give you a quick update. So very funny and slightly annoying. These guys, the enderic lasers, are targeting the Atomic Forge. Be sure when you move these guys to take out the enderic lasers first, because what I did is the lasers were here. I mined this block to move the Atomic Forge, and these three guys in the corner decided to start mining. So they destroyed everything in this straight line here. They just shredded through my base. And the inventory was full, so all of the items were destroyed. I need to fix this, but I wanted to show you guys what could happen. Those lasers went nuts. They started destroying everything before I could react. So it sheared through here, and it messed up some of the pipes that I had, and it spurred me. I was like, I'm not dealing with this anymore. We're turning all of our small clumps into big clumps with the crafting, of course. We don't need to worry about overflow because it immediately gets pulled out and sent to this chest here. All of the clumps in regular size clumps will end up in this chest, which then get pulled and sorted by filters and by machine proxies into centrifuges with water. And I built this with 2 machine extenders in use. They do not have upgrades yet, but I wanted to give myself room to improve so that I didn't need to mine everything up again. So we have a filter for all of the clumps to turn into twice as many gems by being washed in the centrifuge. They all come out the front and get sent to the chest right in front of the fragment forge. Right here. Boom, look at all of these wonderful gems that we now have. This is crazy. So these gems, we can run them through our foundry for platinum ingots. 2 of them for 3, but now that we have the Atomic Forge, if we send them to the Atomic Forge with fluxite, we can get even more out of it. So it turns 1 gem into 2 platinum dust. So instead of getting 3 for 2, we get 2 for 1. That's pretty crazy. These fluxites, I was wondering if we set this machine right here, the Atomic Forge, to match recipe. All it needs is 1 stack here, 1 stack here, and this guy here will continue to harvest, fill up these 3 slots, and then keep harvesting, and those fluxite will be lost. But if we put a buffer chest in between, we could have an entire diamond chest full of fluxite, which this enderic laser sends only to the Atomic Forge. And I was thinking, we don't need this to be too fast. We could disconnect this laser from our fuel pumps. By fuel pumps, I mean fuel generators, of course. We can disconnect them, attach 1 solar panel to power this guy, so the power is free. That makes the fluxite free as well. And that makes the Atomic Forge pretty much free for turning the gems into double dusts. I'm going to set that up, but later. We are working on the Bedrock Extractor right now for infinite resources. So we need a Heisenberg compensator. So I believe I mathed incorrectly. And we have 1 more super AI chip that we made last episode. That one with 2 adamant and turn into our Heisenberg compensator that we need in the middle right here. And I have added another 3 enderic lasers to this setup, so now it's 6. So let's see. 1 and 2. All 6 of them are powering, yep. And it's still flickering. So I think we still need more of the enderic lasers. More than 6. So 9 is probably going to be overkill, but it looks really cool. What do you guys think? All right, we need 3 of the copper reinforced plating and 2 motors. That's the cheap part, right? We need 2 duradium, which we have 1, I believe. No, we got 2. Okay. Duradium was netherite with platinum in the foundry. And all we need to do is make another one of these overcharged crystals. What's really cool is when we get into particle collision, we can just collide fluxite with energite dust to make one of them. So it's just 2 items to make this guy. But we're not at particle acceleration yet. We're still making these guys manually. It's not that bad. Advanced batteries are energite, steel, and electrum. All right, so let's go with our 2 batteries. And then we also need the superconductors, which I believe we only have 2. Okay, so we need to make another craft. R for recipe. Okay, we need 1 more of these guys. Block of amethyst, overcharged crystal, and bedrock extractor. There we go. So that, wow, this multi-block needs 26, and it can only be powered by enderic lasers. Okay, so this one's probably going to need a whole bunch of lasers as well. I have a feeling we're going to need another one of these guys, so let's go ahead and pick this guy up and take him with us. And this is what I meant. If you put them on top of each other, they will drain to the lowest one. All right, it does look like the pump has finished. All liquids have been pumped. Okay, cool. So let's see what we got here. Maybe we have some extra nodes hidden under this. Yeah, this node over here is super uneven, but it does have a pretty big chunk right here. Diamond, double uranium, gold, double emerald, but no platinum. If we move over 1, we can get a platinum, the gold. Yeah, we can get everything right here. So platinum, gold, uranium times 2, emerald, and diamond. All in 1 right here. And F3 and G, and it is all in 1 chunk. You see that? What I'm curious about is it mines a 3x3. I am hoping that it can mine a 3x3x3 and not a 3x3x1. Because if it's by 1, that means it can only do these top 3. Then we would just have to sacrifice the platinum. That's right here. We'd have to sacrifice this guy and then just scoot it over to get an extra emerald. But it's a 3x3, so it should mine this area here. So this is where I want to put the bedrock extractor, right there. Let's get rid of the torches because they're probably in the way now. I do have the night vision on the helmet. All right, we got a whole bunch of basic machine cores, so let's build this guy up. Ooh, it goes up. Oh. Very cool. It's still unpacking. Ooh, it goes up. Oh, neat. That is so cool. So does it not actually do where I clicked it? It mines it a little bit over. I think it's selected, so we needed to select 1 over. All right, so scooting it forward 1. And let's go unpack. Yep, so platinum, gold, double uranium. We got diamond over here. And we have 1 of the emerald. So it got all of the nodes that we need. Now we just need to give this guy power. And it has to be done through enderic lasers. So let's see, maybe we can laser it from up here somewhere. All right, so I'm thinking 3 lasers here, 3 lasers here. Energy pipes below it. And let's put the fuel generators behind these guys, like this. And I'm pretty sure I ran out. Whoop. Yeah. We need to bring more cores and probably another fuel generator for this. But let's go ahead and temporarily take these 6 lasers with us. And let's see, basic machine core. All right, there's one of our fuel generators. We're gonna do laser, laser, like this, 6 of them, and improved machine cores. There we go. Whole bunch of lasers. All right, and let's hook up another one of these right next to it and build it up. There we go. And we got a whole bunch of turbo fuel now. So turbo fuel, same thing, turbo fuel right here. They'll all drain down and 2 pipes going in. Boop and boop. All right, so now comes the fun part. Let's go ahead and shift boop the top of this guy. And now we should be able to give that target to all of the enderic lasers. Ah, looks like only some of them can reach. So there is a max distance that these guys can shoot, and those 3 cannot reach. And let's see, there should be 1 output. That looks like the output hatch right here. Boop. And let's see if it'll start outputting onto this guy. We're also not getting any items coming into the chest, so maybe we gotta do a pipe and export it to the chest. Like that. Oh, there we go. Raw uranium. I like that. Platinum. Gold. Ooh, nice. Emeralds. Let's see, maybe 6 lasers is overkill. So let's go ahead and remove these guys since they're being difficult. It's a bummer. It has no interface. So I don't think, clicking on it, I don't think it matters what cores we attach to this guy because there's no machine interface. It's doing what I need it to do. It's making infinite resources now. The uranium is the most important one because that's going to get us into the nuclear reactors. Or how we say here in Texas, nuclear reactors. I wonder if the power sent to it determines how fast the resources are gathered. All right, so let's set this chunk loader here so we can chunk load our lasers. All right, we have our portable tanks that are empty and all of our turbo fuel is set here. And they are all burning and giving this guy power. Okay. Both areas are chunk loaded. We'll come back in a little bit to see how full this guy is. Oop, okay, we found some more turbo fuel. And this one, ooh, nice. Nickel. Redstone, gold, lapis. All right, so here is a fresh node. We have copper, we have nickel, and we have iron. And we have coal. That is what I'm hoping for. I need the iron, the copper, and the coal. Woohoo! There we go. We found iron. Yep, we found copper. And is there a coal node? I don't know. I don't think so. But this one does have the nickel. All right, here's another coal, copper, nickel, and iron. At this point, I'm just being greedy. I'm trying to get a coal node. And nickel, copper, iron. Oh, is that a coal node? Yeah, that's a coal node. It looks like bedrock. Oh, let me make sure the other one I was at didn't have it. And yeah, oh yeah, I looked right past it. The other one did have coal resource nodes. It just blends in with bedrock really well. All right, let's check out our oil node. This guy is unending. All right, guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pump, my biogen, my biofuel, fuel pipes, and a whole bunch of tanks, and we're going to pump out those 2 nodes, and I will be back when everything is set up so that we can make 2 more of the bedrock extractors and set them to mine the redstone, lapis, gold, nickel, and the iron, copper, nickel, coal. All right, so it's been a little bit of time. The lasers have stopped sending energy to the Bedrock Extractor. This is really awesome. This filled up, the energy filled up, and it stopped burning the Turbofuel. One thing I was really worried about is that when this chest fills up, will it keep sending power? Will it keep drilling? And will the items just be lost? And the answer is no. This guy stops when the chest is full, which is really awesome. We have an entire chest full of this stuff. It is crazy how much gold we have, how much uranium we have. We have diamonds, we have emeralds, and we have platinum. That's a lot of stuff. 5 different things in this one chest. And as you can see, like when I pulled it out, it started drilling some more because there's room. So the power kicks back in. And just for you guys, I've been testing out to see if the power sent to it determines how much or how fast it mines. So I've tested 1 enderic laser and I've tested 2 enderic lasers. And yes, there is more mined with 2 than with 1. I'm going to test 3 and 4 and 5 and see if there's a cutoff point. But since the fuel generator can do 256 RF a tick and the lasers can do 128 each, that means that one of these fuel generators can power 2 enderic lasers. When we pop the 3rd one on, this will just all putter out. So even though we're using 3, we're still only generating the 256 RF a tick. I'm pretty sure it's the total number being sent into the lasers that matters. But the best thing is that when the chest is full, the lasers stop sending, the Bedrock Extractor stops digging, and it will not waste your fuel. So what's awesome is it did not waste any of my turbo fuel. I detached all of these guys because I was expecting it to drain this entire tank and this buffer and putter out because it ran out of fuel. But this is really awesome. It stopped when the chest was full. Another thing that I did for you guys, I went to the quarry. Let's teleport over there. Here at the quarry, I did another experiment. So this one is really fun. I wanted to see if the solar generators will work inside the quarry. That is the main reason why I wanted to build the quarry over one of these resource nodes, because I wanted to power the enderic lasers with solar power. So yes, these guys only work during the day, but the solar generators, they produce 128 RF a tick, which is exactly how much an enderic laser needs. So I have 3 solar generators, 3 enderic lasers, all hooked up to this one Bedrock Extractor. And one thing I was kind of worried about is since these guys track the sun, I was worried because it was in a hole. Will it only get power when it's high noon? And the answer is no. As soon as the sun came up, these guys pointed right through the wall towards the sun, where the sun should have been. So I'm pretty sure that this guy only needs the top 9, so the 3x3. Only that 3x3 needs to be touching sun, or sky, better to say, the Minecraft sky. And it's really cool to see this shader pack actually has the sunbeams coming in. That's kind of cool. I like that. That's cool. We got high noon, so the sun is actually directly above our quarry and illuminating everything. This is really, really fun. I like this. Okay, back to the lesson of what I tested out. So this guy, this is another one of those nodes that has diamonds, it has emeralds, it has gold, it has platinum, and it has uranium. I really want uranium so that we can get into nuclear reactors. So this guy is only, it's over here in the pocket. It only touches 1 uranium. So we have an entire diamond chest full of uranium and we can process this stuff. Super exciting. And of course, I just made some space so it went off again. Also, 3 solar generators, 3 enderic lasers powering this guy. We have uranium for days. All right, so since we're back, I can show you guys another thing that I ran into. Let's drop off all of our uranium. We can drop off the little bit of platinum and gold that we have. Of course, the fragment forge is going to fragment this guy, send it downstairs through all of the auto crafters and the centrifuges, and send it back here as gems. But one thing that I wanted to show you guys, this is something that I have figured out super frustrating with the filters, is that when the top slots are full, it will no longer send what comes afterwards. Very frustrating. If you're finding your filters are not working, like this is a nickel, this is an iron. Right here, let's see. Okay, we got copper here and it's empty, right? We have gold here and it's empty. And we have platinum here and it's empty. And I have been so frustrated learning this with Oritech, with the tech mod. Why is it not sending it when it's physically in here? And I believe that the way the system pulls is from the first slot. So if something is in the first slot that is stuck and it will not move, it will not skip it and go to the next one, like this gold, for example. It has to be the next in the line for it to go. As you can see, we pulled everything out of the way and it started pulling gold, but as soon as uranium popped up, the gold clump started, it got stuck again. So now the gold should be spinning. Yep. It got a little bit of gold before platinum got in its way. This is also something very frustrating if you do things like send all of your ore in at the same time. So let me see if I can pull this one off. I know we got uranium processing right now. If you do something like this, where you pop in all of your ores at the same time. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. If you sort your inventory, or if you send it all in, all gold, and then all copper, and then all platinum, it will only do your gold until gold is done. Then it will do your copper until copper is done. Then it will do your platinum until platinum is done. Meaning only one machine will spin at a time. So this is some goofy things I had to do. I had to do something along these lines where we staggered and we did straight lines. All right, so this looks super goofy. It is going to do gold clump, and when this is full, it's going to send the copper, and when that is full, it'll send the platinum, and then when that is full, it'll send the gold. So it will alternate. It will go from left to right, top to bottom. I've filled in these slots so that they don't fill up with uranium dust and jam the entire system. Because you can see I have 8 here, I have 22 here. It's not smart. It doesn't send it down here. It will still send it to the first available slot. So let's say this spot right here is open and the next uranium is here. Then it will only send items until it hits the uranium. And then it will stop sending stuff to your centrifuges. And because all of these are empty, it will fill up all of these spots with more uranium. So I'm thinking about sending the uranium to a completely different setup so that it does not clog this system, because we're not going to need to use uranium until we particle collide them for plutonium or use them as dust to make the uranium gems, which we need to make the uranium pellets, which go into the reactor. So we don't need uranium until we make the reactor. But we are wrapping up the episode. That is just a little bit of troubleshooting I figured out with the Oritech mod. We are going to make 2 more bedrock extractors. I already made the overcharged crystals for us, the duradium. We have the 2 motors and the 3 copper reinforced platings each. We have that ready. We need to make 2 more of the Heisenberg compensators. All right, and over here I have finally set it up. We have 9 enderic lasers being sent to the atomic forge. So let's see if it can keep up with power now. Why? Oh, okay. It went super fast, but it drained the entire battery. We got 8 wafers. For that, we need processing units. We got 4 of these. We need duradium. Yeah, it's using all of the power, but it doesn't look like it's sputtering anymore. We have 2 super AI chips. We need adamant ingots. And there's our 2 Heisenberg compensators. Pretty cool. Still trying to figure out how to keep this guy up and running. Because I thought with 9 we would have enough. Because this guy says maximum usage 1024 RF a tick. And each of these dudes do 128 RF a tick. So I was hoping it was going to stay full. But look at that. The buffer is only 1.2 thousand. Oh, the buffer only has probably 1024 in it. I never noticed that. There's no upgrades to make the buffer bigger. I guess that's the best we can do. I didn't see the arrow sputtering at all. What do you guys think? But super exciting. We have Bedrock Extractor number 1 and Bedrock Extractor number 2. These guys need 26 machine cores each. But as we can see when you click on them, they only tell us what they're mining. There's no buffer, there's no upgrades, there's no nothing. So I really don't think the cores matter. And I will run an extra experiment for you guys. Let's make 26 cores out of the cheapest one, the primitive machine core. This is all wood and crafting tables. Let's make one completely out of wood and see if it produces the same amount of ore as the other ones. All right, that's our 52 cores. 52 primitive machine cores ready for both of these guys. So let's head to our redstone, lapis, gold, nickel, and then our iron, copper, nickel, coal. All right, so there's our fuel generator and our 2 enderic lasers. This is the area that I wanted to mine. So let me put a placeholder block right there. All right, I want it to grab right here in the middle. It'll be nickel, redstone, redstone, gold, redstone, lapis, gold. So Bedrock Extractor, we found out it's not the center, it's the front block. So right here is where I'm going to want it. And primitive machine cores. Bedrock Extractor made completely out of wood. There we go. And propping itself up. And there's it, the drill. Very cool. All right, we got our target designator. Let's go ahead and select this block here. Shift right click and give it power. Shift right click. Shift right click. All right. It has power and it is drilling. And we need to give it a pipe and a chest. All right, so planks surrounded by iron gives us 2 wood. Iron surrounded by gold gives us 2 gold. And then gold surrounded by diamonds and glass gives us the diamond upgrades. Cool. All right, item pipe. Extract. Chest. Bam, bam, bam. Cool. And we're already getting lapis and we're getting redstone. Very cool. So this guy is now up and running and we can head towards our iron, copper, nickel, coal. All right, so this one, I wanted it to be right here. So we're going to have access to this coal resource node right here, which is super hidden inside of the bedrock. Coal resource, we got copper, we got nickel, and we have the iron, which was under this guy that I just put down, this placeholder block. So actually, let's move it over here. If we do this spot, we get nickel, we get copper, we get iron, 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 and then there's a coal right here. So we'll do this spot here because iron really is the resource that is the hardest to get. It does not centrifuge from anything else. So if you want iron, it has to be iron. So let's do this one here. Whoop. I love how it pushes itself up into the air and then forms the drill. That's so cool. All right, and pipe. Extract and chest. Bam, bam, and bam. Very cool. Okay. Target designator. We'll do the back end here. And right click. And right click. All right. So this guy's now up and running, and the most important resource is iron. Perfect. So we're getting iron, we're getting coal. Very cool. That's all of the resources that we're going to need to automate all of our Oritech stuff. The coal, of course, is important because we need to fragment it into coal dust, which then it centrifuges into the carbon fiber strands. And these guys are really important. We need them for enderic lasers. We need them for pretty much everything. Machine efficiency upgrades, the inventory proxies. We're going to use them for reactor heat vents when we get into the nuclear reactor, and assembling into the lenses, into the processing units. These guys, coal is actually quite important. Yep, so this guy's going to make these 4 resources: iron, coal, nickel, and copper. Our other one is super important. It's going to make our lapis, our redstone, our nickel, and our gold. And then, of course, this bad boy that is still working will have our gold, our emerald, our diamond, our platinum, and our uranium. We got all of our bases covered now, with the extra one, the quarry, being only uranium. Boop. Yep. Only uranium. And this is 100% free now, because these guys all 3 of them run on solar power, which is free. The Bedrock Extractor only needs power. So this is all free uranium that we're going to be able to turn into uranium dust. And then the uranium dust, we're going to engrave it in the atomic forge into uranium gems. Super exciting.
Thank you so much for joining me today. Smash like to show your appreciation, and consider leaving a boom in the comments section below. Also, click on my dude here to subscribe for more Let's Plays. Ooh.